reading chat and stuff, this is all going to be very different, and I'm going to have to try and figure this out. But everything looks okay. I don't know how much we're going to be moving the camera around, because I feel like I just have it in a spot that I want it to be in. So, may not do a lot of moving of it this time around, but we will see. What would be the best way to do this? So I have this over here so I can kind of see, more so see what's going on, but I think we're live. I think things are working. I'm going to try not to be too distracted about what's happening on the computer screen, but I do want to see what I end up doing here. All right. Very nice. Okay, so Sesame Sweet Heat Chicken Rice Bowl is what is on the menu today. This is going to be a big one. I'm a little nervous about this one because we have a lot of ingredients that we're going through. I had three other options besides this one to choose from. Those other ones are more in depth, can take up to like 40 minutes. This one says it should only take about 20 minutes. And I'm just trying to do something a little bit more easy, but we have a lot of ingredients to go through. So number one, we need a mini cucumber. And then we're going to need sesame seeds. We have here sweet Thai chili sauce, ponzu sauce, cilantro, scallions, chicken stock concentrate. We're using dark meat chicken. We're going to have white rice, because it's a rice bowl. Carrots, and I know we're going to end up shredding these. Some lime, I'm going to guess. Maybe we end up zesting this. Maybe we don't end up zesting it. Usually, oh no, we do zest it. And then we have 3 radishes, which I have never cooked with radishes before. So, how cool is that? I've never cooked with radishes before, and so I don't even know if I like radishes, if I'm being completely honest. But we're going to just do it anyways. So to start, it wants us to just get the rice going, so that is easy enough. You guys got to let me know if my mic starts getting a little funky, or if you can't even hear me at all, you have to let me know. So I'm going to get the rice going here, which means we need to get our rice and 1 1/4 cup of water and a pinch of salt. We have our measuring cup here. It's 1 1/4 cup. I'm going to start turning this on. Ooh, where are my trusty little kitchen scissors? That's what I really need. Trusty kitchen scissors. I think I'm going to need some measuring spoons as well. So I'm going to put those to the side here. But anyways, how you guys doing today? Today is Wednesday. Tomorrow is the Game Awards. So that'll be kind of exciting to see what comes up out of that. As we've talked about in the past, I think most of us kind of agree that Expedition 33 is going to do a pretty big sweep of it. But we'll see. And it's deserved. Expedition 33 was a great game. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is also a great game, but I think the pace of it really, people don't dig as much. Some people can't handle a little bit more slower paced RPG. And then I need to put a pinch of salt in here as well. I do want to figure out a new situation for this camera because, as I was mentioning before, I'm now using the front camera because it's supposed to be a little bit better, but the biggest problem now is that I can't see what's actually happening on screen when I'm talking to you guys, and it's harder to read chat. That's why I have this computer over here, and it definitely trips me out because I like to pick up the camera and like move it with me and kind of show you what's going on, but when it's this back camera, it's kind of harder to tell, and so I always have to like double check with what's happening over there. But right there, we kind of just did a little test to kind of see how we did. Hopefully it's not too disorienting. Okay, we placed it, I think, okay. And so now that, while that's boiling, we want to bring that to a boil. We're going to end up reducing it to a simmer and letting it sit. And while that cooks, we're going to need to trim, peel, and grate the carrot. I think grating things, we have this little thing. I'm assuming this is some little cheap little grater. I hate like grating things with this. Sucks. I should definitely look into getting an upgraded one. That's what we have. And PSA, I've already washed all of the produce, so don't get on my butt about it. It's already been done. Everything here is hygienic. So first, I like to trim it. When I trim the carrots, I like to do the edges. Just, I don't know, eyeball it and just get the edges cut off like so. Let me know if I need to bring you guys a little closer. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. You guys don't need to like see me all the time. Maybe something like that is kind of a little bit more cool. Okay. Now that we've done that, I'm now going to peel it. As you can see, I got my trusty little peeler here. Nothing too difficult yet. It's when we get to the grating that things start becoming a problem. But yeah. In other news, I see that Queso, a big gaming streamer, is playing League of Legends now, which I think is cool. I was in a kind of a League of Legends spurt probably a couple months ago, trying to rank up. I think I'm higher ranked than him, just whatever. But right now I'm in Silver 4. I haven't played in a couple months. ADC main, pretty much just one trick Jinx. But I've had some pretty good highlight moments with Ezreal. Not that that's like super hard to do, but I have done it. You should check out my All-Star clips. Now we've done that, we need... Ooh, this is boiling. I totally forgot about this. Turn it to a simmer, and where's my lid? There it is. Bada bing, bada boom. We need to put a timer on for probably 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Timer for 15, 20 minutes. We're going to say 17 minutes. Always aim for the middle. When it tells you 15 to 20, you go for the middle number, which is like 17 or something like that. So boom. Now we got to grate these carrots, which this is where things get tricky. We've done this once before on a stream. I don't remember what we were cooking, but it wants us to use these holes here, these big ones, and I have no good strategy for executing this. So my best thought is that I do this, and I just kind of repeatedly do that. And this is going to take some time to whittle through. Maybe we do it from the side. Nah, the side is not very good. The side is harder, I feel like. But I'm always so nervous about my fingers on this thing. Like, how do most people grate their carrots? Because I'm sure there's got to be a more efficient way of doing this. Um, Other than that, I've actually been playing a little bit of Valheim recently with a friend of mine. So that's been kind of fun. And wow, it's pretty much what I've been up to. I feel like I'm behind on WoW. I'm only like level 31 or 32, and I want to get to 60 because I'm playing WoW Classic. I want to get to 60 before Burning Crusade drops and sometime in January. So I have like a month to get there, and I just have not been putting in the time that I need to be putting in to do it. So I need to do that. I think it's going to be one of those situations where I end up putting in like I have to find certain days that it's like, okay, I'm playing today for like 5 hours. Because then I don't play all the other days. So like, I have binge days. Oh! I have binge days. How is our shredding going? What else is happening gaming news-wise? Hades 2 is something. I've never played Hades 2. Maybe I should. And crap. Do you think that's good enough? Do you think I should throw the rest of these carrots away? Because, man, how do you... I feel like I'm going to hurt myself. So be careful of like my fingers. Okay. All right, that's good enough for me. These carrots can go somewhere else. As a matter of fact, since we are cooking, and this is a cooking stream, cooking, like, what's the philosophy on cooking, right? Do we cook just to get sustenance? Some people cook for the art, for the love of the game. I think I started cooking kind of because... One, I needed to kind of learn how to start cooking. And I really did not like cooking. And even now, I'm not sure how I feel about cooking. But I do it anyways. And I think as you do it, it's sort of like an acquired taste. You start maybe learning to tolerate it more. And that's kind of where I am at with cooking, is I'm somewhat tolerating it. I obviously have my moments, and I have learned different things. One of the big ones being, and we've talked about this before on the channel, when it asks you to put oil in the pan, don't hold back. If it's a drizzle of oil, for me that means make a puddle in there, because too many times I put not enough oil, and then it burns a little bit or whatever. Anyway, so cooking stream. I also like to enjoy myself a little bit, so we will be having a little bit of red wine. I just gotta find a little cup to use. Somewhere. I've been seeing a lot of noise about Arc Raiders. And I've been asked, am I ever going to play Arc Raiders? Probably not. That is just not my type of game. Battle Royales Extraction shooters, usually just not my style. I'm more PvP oriented. There's like League of Legends or Overwatch or I guess Call of Duty or whatever it is. Marvel Rivals. I'm more into things like that where it's like really direct competition. Arc Raiders, it looks fun, but might not be for me. So today's wine is a Walmart wine. I know, fancy. A Carlo Rossi sweet red grape wine from Modesto, California. What year is it? That's really the most important part of these things. It doesn't say. Probably 2025. It also says serve chilled. When have you ever had to serve a red wine chilled? Is that a thing? I have always thought red wine is something that you keep at room temperature, and that's how I prefer it. So I picked that up, and now that I see that it's chilled, and I'm not a fan of that, because I had a wine before this one that I got, I think, from Trader Joe's. That was pretty good and cheap. This one kind of not my favorite. It's light. I think I can tell why it needs to be chilled, though. All right, I'm going to put my cup up there. All right, we got about 8 minutes and 30 seconds left on the rice. We've grated our carrot. Now we got to move on to our cucumber. We have our cucumber here. We're probably going to end up trimming it. So I just do a little edges here. Ooh, that's real soft. Our edges here. Throw those to the side. Into 1/4-inch pieces. All right. So instead of like measuring this out, that to me just means make little circles in it. And so that's what we're going to do, is something like this. And just basically try and make them kind of thin instead of fat. And let's just think about, what are these even going into? They're going into a rice bowl of some kind. So having little circles like this in a rice bowl might not be the best. So maybe we take these and we just kind of like cut them in half or something. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're just going to cut them in half. Take them stacks at a time. Ka-chang. I really want to start adding music to the stream. I have not quite figured out how to execute on that. It might be I use like one of my JBL speaker and play music through that, but then it really would be a balancing act of like, is this going to overpower the mic or not? Though I have this little mic that attaches to the top of my apron, so maybe it wouldn't be as big of a problem as I think it would be. But then this mic would even pick up onto stream. I don't know. I don't know, man. Quit asking me questions like that. Okay. Trim and dice cucumbers into 1/4-inch pieces. So that's what we did here. And then we're going to trim. Oh, this is where the radishes come into play. This is the first time I have ever cooked with radishes. Poggers! First time I've ever cooked with radishes. So trim and thinly slice the radishes into rounds. What? And thinly slice radishes into rounds. What are rounds? Oh, I think it's just like what I did with the cucumbers. Trim them? Do I need to trim radishes? I guess the radish has a little like butthole there. So I guess I could trim that off. Trimmed. And I don't know, it has a little little tip there. I guess we will slice that little tip on the little radish if we want to. So there we go. We're going to cut that little butthole and cut this little tip. And we're going to cut that one. And that one. Hopefully there's nothing else that you're supposed to do about trimming them. And then slice them into rounds. So that's basically what we did with the cucumbers. So we're going to do this, that. Watch my fingers on that one. That. All right. That one's a little fat bat, but there's this one. I don't know. That's a pretty good round, right? Something like that. Okay. Now we're going to do this one. Actually, hold on. I got to separate this from the other things. There you go. Ka-chang. Ka-chong. Uh-oh. That's a little half moon. That's okay. Good enough for me. I feel like something I'm kind of learning with cooking is like, there's an element, this is why they kind of call it an art, right? Because you can follow a recipe to the T, which is what I kind of just like to do. But I'm learning it's like sometimes you can make an audible or you can kind of change the play and kind of play things by ear a little bit too. Like I did with the cucumbers. Instead of 1/4-inch pieces, I made circles, then I cut them into half moons, and I don't know. Mainly because I don't know how I would cut it into 1/4-inch pieces. I don't even know 1/4-inch in what way. Like the depth, like how fat it is, or like what? What are we talking about? How long it is? What are we even saying? All right, so trim these into rounds, which we've just done. All right, and this is where we do the scallions. Scallions, one of my favorites. I really like scallions. And there's something that you need to know about me as well, is that I am a big ramen fan. And I'm not talking about Maruchan ramen. I'm talking about, like, authentic Japanese ramen. I love the stuff. I used to work at a ramen restaurant as a busser and a runner. And I grew an appreciation for it. And so with ramen, it usually comes topped with scallions. And that's why I like scallions. And that's the first time that I tried scallions, was on ramen. And now I'm a fan. So what I like to do with these, we need to do like 2 scallions here, is we want to cut off the tip. And then kind of just like huddle everything together like this. I assume we're just making little pieces of scallions here. Trim and thinly sliced scallions, separate whites from greens. Yes, okay. So I'm just going to do something like this. And we just kind of do like this. And kind of cut it down the line. And with cooking, I feel like you just can't think so much sometimes. I feel like when I very first started, I thought really hard about things. Like, the directions say separate whites from greens, but then you hit a point like this, where you're like, is this white part here, or is this green? At what point? Because it's a gradual transition. It's not like it's just immediately white. So you have to, like, guess. And I've learned that is just how it is. I don't know. So we're calling those our greens, and we're going to call these our whites. And maybe it'll be a little bit green or a little bit white, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if it's close enough, that's really all that counts. All that matters. Ka-chang. Nice. Whoop! That should be the rice. Now rice, I feel like it's kind of hard to mess up. I'm just going to look at it really quick, make sure. Yeah, it looks like it's pretty much kind of done. Just going to look at it real quick. Oh yeah, I think this rice is in a really good spot. I'm going to put that off the oven, stovetop. So now we have our grated carrots, our cucumbers, our radishes, our green scallions, our white scallions. And now for the big main event of the produce, zesting the lime. One of my favorite things, because zesting was a term I had never heard of before in my life up until about 1 or 2 years ago. And this is what they call a zester. It's a microplane, and it does zesting. And so, how do you zest, you may ask? Now, zest is basically the upper skin of the lime or lemon, and you end up usually using it as kind of like a topping on, like a garnish on a food. And so I'll show you how to do it. Because you do, maybe it's gonna be hard for me to do it with my left hand maybe, but you do something like this. It's kind of like grating, but it's not. It's very, very tiny, and it only gets to like the very top part of the skin. Okay, I have to do this with my other hand though, because it's hard to see. Hard to control. So as you can see how it's like where we've zested now, it's like this white and like this green skin. And we're making these little like green hairs, or basically shredded top of the green skin of the lime. And so when I do this, it always makes me feel super, super fancy, because this is like one of those little things that you can do in cooking that just like elevates the presentation and elevates the food, but is not, essential to the meal. It's just those little things. Because if I imagine, if there's people like me, they don't really get zest on their food very often, especially a home-cooked meal. But it's so simple. It's so simple to do, and this, for some reason, I just find so fun, mainly because I don't think many people are really doing this for their home meals. And I like to do it. I like to do it, everything to the max, Boom. So now you can see all that zest in there now, and our lime. And we're going to end up just cutting this lime and using the rest of the juices and things for stuff. So very, very cool. So we've zested our lime. We're probably going to have to quarter it. Yes, we are going to have to quarter our lime. I feel like I have not perfected the best lime quartering. Like, I think presentation-wise, because, you still have these edges where you have the little tip. And that just, really throws things out of whack. Symmetry-wise. And, maybe I could cut off the tip and fix that. But, also, do I care enough? Not really. Half of these are going to be used just for the juice anyways. This is where I think we're making a little bit of a sauce. Guys, you got to tell me if the mic's going too crazy. I imagine it was going crazy there for a second. Okay, let me know if the mic goes crazy. Scallion ponzu. Okay, in a medium bowl. God dang it. Maybe there's a better spot I can put this. Maybe there's better. In a medium bowl, I'm just using this. They say medium bowl or they say small bowl, and in my mind I'm like, what are we considering a small bowl? What are we considering a medium bowl? I can't really know until we start putting ingredients in, until I'm like, oh, because is this a small bowl? But I imagine that's too tiny. All right. In a medium bowl, combine carrots. Okay, hold on. Can you guys... Let's see how that looks for you. We're going to combine carrots. And cucumber. Right? We're going to combine cucumber, radishes, green scallions. Okay, a lot of things. Let's get our cucumber in here now. I will say this. I think cucumber is one of my least favorite foods. At least in this recipe, probably my least favorite. I don't know what it is about cucumbers, but I just don't really like them. Not that much. I think they get too soft when you cook them. Or they're just too soft for me in general. I don't know. Does anybody else feel that way? Combine carrot, cucumber, radishes. I see, this is medium bowl, but, maybe this was too small of a bowl. Scallion grains. This. Our ponzu sauce. Where are my kitchen scissors? There they are. Ponzu sauce. Oh, and 1 teaspoon of sugar. I forgot to mention the other ingredients. Sugar, mayonnaise, salt, and black pepper. Whenever they have sugar, it's, we know it's going to be an interesting dish, Sugar into a main meal dish? Whoa, what's going on, right? All right, so 1 teaspoon of sugar. So you're going to use our trusty measuring spoons. This is where I get really particular. If it says 1 teaspoon of sugar, I know some people will just eyeball it, but I'm not at that level. I can't eyeball it. And maybe I could if I tried, but like I don't want to. Like I just like to be perfect, you know? So 1 teaspoon of sugar and a big squeeze of lime juice. So I have a little lime squeezer actually. Somewhere. I have one. I do. It's missing. All right, we're doing it by hand. I don't know where it's at. All right, and a big squeeze of lime juice. Man, what are we cooking up here? I don't know. That's the fun of these recipes. Taste and season with salts. I wonder if I should do 2 of the limes. Do I need to use lime anywhere else, or is this going to be the end of the meal? No, I don't think I'm going to need to, so I'm going to use another one. They're doing it again. Let's find a good one. Or a bad one, really. We want to save the more aesthetic ones for serving with the rice later. Alright, good enough for me. Toss in the sink. Toss in the sink. Basically, line. Taste and season with... I'm not tasting it. Taste and season with salt, though. I can kind of guess with the salt. That's good. And set aside to pickle. Stirring occasionally. I have a bunch of spoons that I grabbed here. Just going to stir it up a little bit. Can you guys see what's in there? Look at that. Stirring it up. Nice. All right. Pretty well stirred now, I guess. And now we got to let it pickle. I'm going to let it pickle up here. Next. This is where we get to the real cooking of it all. I'm going to bring you over with me. Let me just... do that. And then we're going to bring you over here. Because we're going to do some stovetop cooking. Stovetop cooking segment. Boo, whoop. Okay. Sweet. Heat a large dry pan over medium-high heat. Dry, it says. Okay, that's a little different. I usually never have to do dry. And so this is the famous debate that we usually have within this chat of what do we consider medium-high. For me, medium-high is like 7. I think that's like 7, 7.5. We're going 7. 7 on the dot. That's what we're calling medium-high. But, it's always a debate. It's always a debate. So while that heats up, we're going to end up putting like sesame seeds in there and heating those up. Heat large dry pan over medium high heat, add sesame seed, and then we're toasting those, stirring them until fragrant and beginning to brown. And then that's it. We're just toasting sesame seeds until we do the chicken later. Let this heat up a little bit. We got to let it heat up a little bit, yes. Feeling it out. Yes, yes, yes. Let's think. Any other good games out there? Call of Duty Black Ops 7. From what I see, is not doing so well. But I can't blame them because, I mean, it feels like every Call of Duty has been the same for basically since Modern Warfare 2019. Every Call of Duty after that has pretty much just been the same slop. That's what it feels like. When they did away with uplink is when they ruined their game. And that's my stance on it. When they took out uplink, it was just like you literally got rid of the best game mode. Uplink could be a standalone game on its own. Just make a game that all you do is play uplink and make it $20. People would buy that. It's basketball. I mean, it's just like, it's the simplicity of it, and I worry that uplink is never making a comeback. I've heard in Black Ops 7 that they have some sort of, I don't know, some game mode that is somewhat close to what uplink was, and I haven't looked at it. Somebody's gonna have to tell me whether it's even remotely similar to uplink or if it can compete with uplink, because I don't know, uplink was such a gem. It's sad that it ever went away. So I think we're gonna let these toast for like 2 minutes. So give that 2 minutes or so. And then we're gonna end up putting those in a small bowl. So maybe that the little cup that I put the zester in, I could have put some sesame seeds in. But we will see. I'm gonna end up putting them in this little small bowl here. Do I need to stir these sesame seeds? Yes, I do need to be stirring these sesame seeds. Maybe I shouldn't do it with a metal spoon. But I didn't realize I needed to stir it. Woo! Woo, they're popping. Ooh, they're popping. All right. 3, 2, 1. Good enough for me. Toasted sesame seeds. All right. We need another bowl. We need a third small bowl. I might need to bring you guys back over. Back to the countertop. You feeling good? Feeling good? Cool. Sweet, I think. Yeah, I think that looks okay. Combine. In this small bowl, we're combining half of the sesame seeds. So what do we think's half, chat? Half, chat. Probably take like this much here. Half the sesame seeds. Two tablespoons of mayonnaise. Our mayonnaise. Is mayonnaise an instrument? Good old SpongeBob reference for those who know. 2 tablespoons. Okay, that's good for me. That might be all we need for the mayonnaise. 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise and a pinch of lime zest. This is where the lime zest comes into play. Oh wait, do you want to see what it looks like? That's mayonnaise and sesame seeds combined. Interesting, I know. So we're going to take a pinch of our lime zest. Maybe get you a good angle on this or something. We're going to take a pinch of our lime zest. So there's our little pinch. And we're going to put it in there. Maybe a little bit more, actually. Okay, sweet. And then we're going to add water until we make like a little sauce. Oh, but it wants us to use chili sauce. This is where the sweet Thai chili sauce comes into play. It wants us to use 1 tablespoon of these. So I need a little measuring spoon. And I'm going to need my kitchen scissors again. So not have to sit here and make a fool of myself trying to open this package with my fingers. So this is 1 tablespoon of chili sauce. Is that just this whole packet, you think? No, it's not. Okay. 1 tablespoon of the sweet Thai chili sauce has been completed, and now we need to stir this with water, 1 teaspoon at a time, until we get a drizzling consistency. What a weird little sauce with sesame seeds, right? It's very... I've never made a sauce like this before. Drizzling? No, not quite drizzling. Let's do another teaspoon. We're getting there. It's shaping. We are shaping a little bit here. Still not quite drizzling consistency, I don't think. Maybe 1 more. Yeah, now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. Oh, that's a little more drizzly, huh? What do we think of that drizzle? I almost want to put another thing of water in here. No, I think we're good. I'm not putting another one. Okay. Now that that's done, that's the sauce. Chow. This is where we are going to... I think we're going to be cooking the chicken here. Oh. Well, we're getting low on battery, so I'm going to have to be quick about this. Oh, man alive. I took the phone off for a second, and now I can't get it on again. All right, well, if the stream dies, it's not my fault. All right, so that's kind of heating up already. We're going to do this fast. I'm going to try to at least. I've already been at this for almost an hour, which is crazy. All right. Hold on. I got to clear some area here. Move our white scallions off to the side. So you know what I'm going to do? Actually, no, I think this is fine. I'm just gonna, excuse me, pardon me. Oop. Oop, pardon me. Need to cut this chicken open and over the sink so I can just kind of dump some of these little juices out. Gross! You guys can't see it. You guys can just see my butt. Okay. Drain off any excess fluid. Heat a drizzle of oil in pan used for sesame seeds over medium-high heat, 7, and add chicken and scallion whites. All right. And you get a drizzle of oil then. I'm just going to show you this. Shoo. Some of it just squirted out of the pan. Oh my gosh. Maybe we're actually going to turn it down. Maybe 7's too high. Okay. That just seems good. That fan seems fine. That seems fine. Okay. And now we need to add the chicken and scallion whites and season with salt and pepper. Okay, this is where things get intense. Okay. Ow! I burned myself. I might need to find a different method for this. Ouch. Missed it. Missed those again. All right. That went about as poorly as it could. Ah! Oh my God, I knew that would happen. Don't mind that, don't mind that. Everything is fine over here. Everything is A-okay, you hear me? Everything is A-okay. Oh my God. I'm telling you, my fire alarm is sensitive. You guys saw it. There's no way that fire alarm should have gone off there. None. That's crazy. It's crazy. All right, so I need to stir this up a little bit. I'm going to turn it down just a hair. I may have used too much oil. Possibly. It's a balancing act. You know what I mean? Come on, you guys saw that. There's no way that the fire alarm should have gone off. It does it every time. That's going. While that goes, I need to cook it 4 to 6 minutes. That's pretty much the gist of what's going to happen there. And then we're putting in the rest of the chili sauce, stock concentrate, and the remaining sesame seeds. And then we're putting together the bowls, and that's pretty much it. So I'm going to, well, that kind of cooks a little bit, and then prep everything else. I just need my kitchen scissors. My kitchen scissors. That's about ready to pop. That's going to be ready to go. How do we know that's all the way cooked through? I mean, I don't know. You can look at it and kind of feel it out. I mean, these are probably getting kind of close. I think I'm kind of looking for this dark meat chicken, which I've never cooked before, so it's a little bit different. But I think I'm kind of looking for like a golden outer skin. Is essentially what I'm looking for with something like this. If this was like a full, just like chicken breast or something, I'd be using my meat thermometer. But when it's already shredded, you know, a new strat has to come into play. But it's starting to take shape. Put a little pepper on here. You can't even see the pepper come out of this thing, but it's going. Okay. Should be almost done cooking it. And then soy sauce, stock concentrate, and the rest of our sesame seeds. Oh. Yeah, I really do want to add music to this stream somehow. I don't know how yet. What's going to be the best method for this? For that, I should say. It might be like... I don't know. I really don't know how I would do it. It's probably just going to be like on a speaker in the background, and every now and again it's going to pick up the noise, or if I get it perfect, it'll be the perfect, like, underneath the voice music. Could I just do this off of my iPhone? And I use this little like mic on my shirt. Alright, I feel like the chicken's in a good spot right now. I think chicken's in a good spot now. Brown and cooked through, and then we're going to put in the rest of the chili sauce. There's a lot of it. And the stock concentrate and everything. Do I need to lower the temp? That's a real question. I don't know if it says to do that. So it says 3 ounces of this chili sauce. So each of these packets is 1 ounce. So here we go. Oh yeah, now the pan is getting a little pissed. Getting a little pissed. Oh, shit. And then our chicken stock concentrate. Stir this a little bit. Get everything nice and lacquered up. And I think we're pretty much done cooking that. We're going to take the rest of our sesame seeds. Try and spread this as evenly as I can throughout this dish. Okay. There's that. Let's get our bowls ready, and then we're almost done. We're almost done. I'm going to bring you over here because we're going to end up filling up one of these bowls, and then we're going to call it. All right. First, we want to fluff our rice. Here's our rice. Fluff rice and divide them between bowls, and then we're topping them with the chicken and pickled veggies that we made earlier. So let's take our rice, put them into the bowl. Pretty good, even there. And then our chicken. Maybe I should use tongs for this. Tongs. Sure. Once we do that, and the pickled veggies. Our pickled veggies. And I want to take these radishes over here. Chang. Pickled veggies executed upon, and then our sauce to top it all off. No one ever did anything with this cilantro, actually. I think I forgot about it. Yeah, I need to chop the cilantro a bit. Everything sweet sesame mayo. That's this. This is our sweet sesame mayo. You know, just kind of play it by ear and how much, you know, you might want. If you're serving for guests, you know, let them do it themselves or whatever. Do something like that. And then we're going to do our cilantro, which I didn't actually cut, so I'm going to do that really quick. It's going to be a very haphazard cilantro, so bear with me. Cutting it through, hold on. Bear with me. Don't leave, please, don't leave. All right, I'm coming. A little bit of cilantro. It doesn't say this, but I'm putting a little bit of the lime zest as well because lime zest is cool. And we top it all off with a little lime wedge for the patron to enjoy. And there you have it, folks. This is the Sesame Sweet Heat Chicken Bowl. Dun, 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 dun. Very nice, yeah? All right. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate all of you. Please drop a follow if you have not. And yeah, do all those things. Anyways, we will be back again tomorrow, probably around 3:30ish Central, for another cooking stream. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.